Dear viewers, as results started coming in for the BMC elections, it became clear that something fundamental had shifted in the city that shapes Maharashtra's politics. For nearly 3 decades, the Brihanmumbai Municipal Corporation was the Thackeray stronghold. No matter what happened in the state, Mumbai remained Sena territory, but not anymore. On January 16th, the BJP emerged as the single largest party with 89 of 227 seats, improving its previous tally of 82. With the Shinde-led Shiv Sena, the Mahayuti crossed the majority mark of 118 seats, comfortably ahead of the 140 needed to control India's richest civic body. But the real story isn't just who won, because buried inside these numbers are clear signals. BJP's growing dominance, the Thackeray refusing to fade away, Shinde turning into kingmaker, Congress surviving against the odds, and AIMIM quietly reshaping minority politics. Hello, I'm Tejas and you are watching Honest Take on Lokmat Times. In this video, let's break down 5 major takeaways from the BMC election results and what they mean for Mumbai and Maharashtra's political future. But before that, please do subscribe to Lokmat Times and press the bell icon to never miss an update. So, takeaway number 1, BJP is the undisputed king in Maharashtra. Here is the thing, the BJP did not merely win a municipal election, it consolidated its grip on urban Maharashtra. The party's leap to 89 seats in the BMC, almost 40% of all votes, has to be seen against the backdrop of its statewide sweep. Across 29 municipal corporations, the BJP-led Mahayuti alliance captured over 1400 seats, a decisive victory that signals momentum far beyond Mumbai's limits. You can argue about why voters chose them, but the raw math tells you this. Despite decades of regional identity politics led by local parties, voters are now comfortable trusting the BJP with core urban governance. Why? Part of it is simple. When a party controls both the state and the center, it doesn't just campaign harder, it leverages visibility, resources, and narrative control. And while nobody talks about it directly, that translates into massive money and muscle on the ground. There is another angle too. The BJP's messaging beyond Hindutva ideology, more about development first, has clearly landed. Whether it is roads, sanitation, public transport upgrades, or high-profile infrastructure projects in Mumbai, people tied those to BJP leadership. And it showed at the booths. And its victory in Mumbai isn't a one-off. Across urban Maharashtra, Pune, Nashik, Jalgaon, Dhule, the BJP either swept or led convincingly. That is not luck, that is sustained organizational strength. Takeaway number 2, Shiv Sena UBT lives to fight another fight. Some analysts were ready to write the obituary of Uddhav Thackeray's faction early this cycle. But this election reminded everyone that you can't discount legacy or identity overnight. The Shiv Sena UBT won 65 seats in Mumbai, second only to the BJP. That's not a fringe showing. That's a massive base of loyal voters who still see the Thackeray brand as Mumbai's own. Walk down Dadar, Varadi, Shivdi or other majority areas of Marathi people and you will hear the same refrain. People still associate the Thackeray lineage with voice for Marathi pride. That sentiment doesn't vanish with the political split. Here is where the story gets interesting. Without the split in the Sena, those 65 seats might not have been just a footnote. They could have put UBT in a position to truly challenge the BJP or negotiate from strength. In other words, the division diluted their impact, and that's on them. But even in loss, they proved something key. This is not the end of the Thackeray brand. With a renewed organizational push and hard ground outreach, Shiv Sena UBT still has the muscle to recapture Mumbai's civic heart over the next decade. Takeaway number 3, Shinde Shiv Sena, kingmaker, not king. Here is the paradox of Eknath Shinde's faction. The party that claims to be the real Shiv Sena is now playing second fiddle in the very city where that legacy was forged. Across Maharashtra, Shinde Shiv Sena is a force, especially in municipal bodies like Thane, where they performed strongly. But in Mumbai proper, the story is very different. Shinde Sena won 29 seats, respectable, but clearly behind UBT's 65. That tells you two things. First, in the minds of many Mumbai voters, Uddhav's faction still feels like authentic Shiv Sena, the political heir of Babasaheb Thackeray. Shinde, despite his government position and alignment with BJP at the state level, hasn't managed to translate that into grassroots credibility inside the city. And second, Shinde's faction is now where UBT once was, a junior partner that delivers enough seats to matter. In the math of the BMC, the BJP needs their support to govern, making Shinde Sena the kingmaker. If you are watching the long game, this dynamic sets up an uneasy balance. Shinde got political oxygen from the BJP, but without independent credibility in bastions like Mumbai, his party's identity remains hallowed by alliance politics, not voter conviction. Takeaway 4. Congress is struggling, but not done. Let's be honest, a lot of people wrote the Congress off in Maharashtra after the assembly defeat. But this election showed that writing its political obituary in Mumbai was premature. In the BMC, the Congress secured 24 seats, not earth-shattering, but enough to remind everyone they still have a constituency. And those seats did not come out of nowhere. Leaders like Varsha Gaikwad and Aslam Sheikh still command respect and maintain presence in their core areas. Look around other cities too. In places like Parbhani, Kolhapur, Latur, Congress managed respectable performances as part of local alliances or standalone efforts. They are a shadow of the machine they once were, yes, but they are still an actor in the drama. And actors are defined not by just total seats, but where and how they show up. Here is what this means. If the UBT had done better, Congress could have been a real coalition partner in Mumbai's power equations. So the story of Congress in this cycle is survival, not resurgence. But are they still in the game? Very much. Now takeaway number 5, AIMIM and the shifting minority vote. This is where the plot takes an unexpected turn. For decades, Muslim voters in Maharashtra's civic polls have largely leaned Congress or regional fronts that promise pluralistic coalitions. But the AIMIM emerged as a noticeable force, securing 8 seats in the BMC alone and scores more across the state. Elsewhere in the civic polls, the Asaduddin Owaisi-led party crossed the 100-seat mark across Maharashtra, including strong showings in cities like Sambhajinagar and Malegaon, often finishing ahead of the Congress. This is not just a footnote, it's a signal. With BJP's consolidated Hindutva appeal and the broader polarization in Indian politics, a section of minority voters, particularly Muslims, are looking for a distinct political voice that doesn't just slot into old alliances. AIMIM offers that agenda. Assertive identity politics blended with development promises and modern leadership image. Some will frame this as a divide and rule effect of BJP's politics. Others will see it as a natural evolution of political agency among Muslim voters. Either way, the rise of AIMIM should be a wake-up call to secular parties like Congress and NCP. Taking minority votes for granted in urban Maharashtra is no longer an option. So here is my honest take. The 2026 BMC results are more than municipal wards tallied. They are a reflection of where Maharashtra politics is heading. The BJP has the organizational muscle and electoral trust to dominate cities once thought impermeable. The Shiv Sena UBT still resonates with core local identity. Shinde's faction is strong enough to influence outcomes without being the emotional first choice. Congress is hanging on in places that still care about its legacy. And emerging players like AIMIM are reshaping who gets to speak for which communities. If you step back, what this really means is 3 things. Power is nationalized. Local issues matter, but national level politics now drives municipal outcomes in ways we haven't seen before. Identity isn't dead, it is evolving. Voters still care about heritage and community, but they are ready to split their allegiance when delivery matters. The opposition can't afford complacency. This isn't a static landscape. Coalitions, local leaders, and ground level organizing will define future contests. So that's that for today. What do you think of the outcome of the BMC polls? Do let us know in the comments below, and if you still haven't, please subscribe to Lokmat Time.